entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
Screen time salutations to all you internet dwellers out there, and welcome to a very special episode of Screen Time Continuum. I am Nick, and I am solo. I basically got inspired today to do a little video for you guys that was so on the fly that I just decided I was going to record it, and we will have our regular Sunday night show tomorrow, as always. But this was just something that I wanted to do and kind of share with you guys, because if you don't know, if you haven't read from the title, we're going to be talking about the match cut of Everything Everywhere All at Once. And I've seen a lot of people, especially been watching a lot of reviews, because we just currently reviewed it. I think it's our last video, and we all loved it so much. And so I was going through YouTube and sort of looking at reviews to get ideas and inspiration and stuff. And I noticed a lot of people had mentioned that they would like a sort of breakdown of the big match cut scene in this movie, sort of as the character Evelyn is descending into the nihilism. It's this basically 1 minute and 20-second scene where you're seeing a whole bunch of visuals, all of just Evelyn with different backgrounds and different universes. And that was one of the scenes that really stuck out to me. So I wanted to break it down with you guys. It wasn't as easy as I thought it would be to get the screen recording. I obviously bought the movie, and this is my personal copy. And hopefully I'm being transformative enough for the copyright gods, and I'm not offending anybody. I'm going to keep the volume down so that there is no volume, but we're just going to go through frame by frame and see what we can find in this really wonderful, detailed movie. So without much further ado, let's just jump right into it. This is where we see the sort of descent into the nihilism for Evelyn's character. She's sort of gazing into the abyss, everything bagel, and seeing all the universes all at the same time. And it's quite a trip to see visually in this movie. So yeah, let's jump into it. So here we go. I've got this ability here to just go scene by scene, frame by frame, which is really useful because some of these scenes go by very quickly. So you see her sort of freak out a little bit, and the Evelyn mesh network starts to go haywire as she becomes everywhere all at once. We get this sort of image of her as a young girl, I guess, in the universe where she makes a decision to be with Wayman or not. This is, I think, the Evelyn that we see. And there's a lot of these reoccurring shots that you guys will notice as we go along, too. So we have here Evelyn and Jobu Tubaki at the Everything Bagel. You'll notice in this sequence, this pops up a lot. And it's a really good visual reminder of where you're supposed to be in the story, just so that you don't really get lost in too much of the visuals. Next, we have the scene of cinematic Evelyn doing the existential scream, as all of these characters you'll see do. We have here in the sort of Prime universe, Evelyn freaking out. I love the use of colors too, to sort of visually express the change in universe, especially with the circular lighting. They're using this lighting rig that's going in a circular motion. So you see the light hit the face at so many different angles, obviously also representing the circularness of this movie. The cinematic Evelyn, Prime Evelyn, Young Evelyn, and they do this really quick, where this is just like within the span of a few seconds. going. And this is where it starts to amp up a little bit. I really love this scene. I think that the lighting is incredible. Um, and Michelle Yeoh's facial expressions throughout this whole clip are just fantastic. And we get the scene of the singer Evelyn. And this is interesting. This is I guess an urn. It would seem as though Evelyn jumped into a universe where she's already been cremated, and this urn is uh, the one doing the existential screaming. We go back to the sort of the prime universe here with Gong Gong and his alpha jumpers. Again, we're cycling through a lot of the same the four core universes, but it starts to open up much bigger as this progresses. And you're using these like uh, different lighting to sort of add oomph to the scene, which I think is just really cool. The wind, almost like you're being blown away by the everything bagel. Very cool representation. We see the sign flipper Evelyn with her pizza hat falling off. I don't know which Evelyn this one is in particular, but it's a cool shot with the sort of tree in the background, almost a little bit like angel wings. And of course, you get this sun or this god ray coming out of the top of her head like that. And that's obviously all on purpose. And just a very cool shot as well. And so you get Hot Dog Fingers Evelyn with Hot Dog Fingers Deirdre. Again, you get that spinning light motion, which casts the shadows in a circular way around the face, which I think is kind of a cool effect. And keeps on going a little bit. There's some scenes that linger on a little bit more than others. Um, but I think that that's just to sort of solidify that those universes are the ones that we've been going and exploring throughout the movie. The other universes that we see in this sort of match cut, you only spend seconds on. Again, we have Jobu here, which is cool with the we have this motif of the yin yang with the googly eye and the everything bagel. She's kind of representing it here with the pearls around her eyes, and her eyes are a little bit dark. We get sort of old Evelyn in the outfit of the young Evelyn. Then we get Cat Evelyn. This is such a quick frame. Honestly, I had to put this through a DaVinci Resolve in order to even get it to clip this slowly, because everything I was trying to do was just not working. They were going way too fast. So thank goodness for this little program here, because I'm able to hit every frame. And we get this sort of I don't know if this is prime Evelyn, because she's back sitting at the sort of the Deirdre's cubicle. We get a lot of very great acting from Michelle Yeoh, especially in the eyes. As this whole thing progresses, you can start to see her eyes, tearing up and just taking in all of this. This is the first really interesting scene that we get from the match cut sort of montage. We're in some sort of desert here. And if you notice in the background, there is somebody wearing a hazmat suit and a mask. Now, this movie was shot during, so I could see where they would want to put a little bit of reference into that, especially since I believe it kind of made the filming process for the creators a little bit difficult, because I believe Michelle Yeoh was in Paris. And so a lot of the actors weren't even in the same areas as each other. So they had to kind of overlay the actors' performances on top of each other's in order to make them feel like they're near each other, which I thought was just crazy, because you would think that, like there was no issue logistically like that, but there was. Oops, I moved too fast there. See how quick that goes? I literally touched the button for a second and it just flashed. So we'll go back a little bit. So it's, Hot Dog Fingers Evelyn, the Evelyn with Jobu, the Evelyn that's younger. And then this sort of Evelyn, they constantly flash back to these core Evelyns, but then go wilder and wilder. Obviously, this one's kind of cool. I don't know, inky-eyed Evelyn. She's some sort of, I don't know, void monster, but the graphics are kind of interesting because um, they're almost just layered onto the face instead of trying to blend the ink coming out of her eyes. It's just like, it's almost like a I don't know how to say it because I'm not proficient in graphic design. So maybe somebody out there could tell me the lingo so I could explain it properly. But again, very cool. This she looks a little bit older in this, so I'm wondering if this is like Evelyn in 5 to 10 years or something. She's back at the tax office because she does look a little bit older than she normally does in the other shots. But it also could be the lighting because now you're seeing her start to get younger again. So it could just be that the circular lighting is casting different shadows, which is another cool effect because if you do it right, you can almost see a person get older and younger just by the way the circle light is hitting their face, which is kind of cool. Another sort of, I think, pandemic reference. This guy comes up a lot in this this montage. I'm not exactly sure who he's supposed to be. He might be Alpha Waymans, but I can't tell. Maybe like a younger version of him, but he's wearing a gas mask, so a little bit more imagery to the to allude to some of the difficulties they had in making this film. You get this Evelyn in sort of like a wheat field on fire with like sparklers in the background. Back to cinematic. Back to sort of like IRS Evelyn. Back to older young Evelyn. And then we get the scene here. Her eyes are sort of black, which is kind of cool. This very purple light, psychedelic, fractal-y stuff, which is kind of cool. Again, all of this is happening in about 1 minute flat. So this stuff happens really fast and it's like a flash before your eyes, which is a cool effect because, and I do apologize, this might be demystifying some of it for you, but so I hope that it doesn't necessarily like damage the way you see it later on, because it is such a great montage that really gives you the feeling of everything. So I just hope that breaking it down just gives you a little bit of Easter eggs that you'll enjoy. A very weird, almost kind of like looks to me a little bit like the White Walkers from Game of Thrones mixed with something else like a gargoyle or a troll or something. And we get Evelyn that's apparently a prisoner. She got a tattoo on her face, tattoos on her chest and neck. Obviously, there's something written underneath the eye, but I can't really tell. Can't zoom in that well. So I'm not exactly sure what the eye tattoo says. Back to Jobu and the bagel. We get this scene here of some sort of explosion with what looks like a firefighter trying to put out a car fire. Not sure what that represents, but here we have Evelyn as a nun. And this is kind of cool. I think this is a little bit of like a Star Trek homage, maybe, because it looks like she's wearing kind of like a Star Trek shirt. She's got the black turtleneck with the solid primary color, which is kind of cool. I think that's probably just a little nod to Star Trek there, which is sweet. Very cool background effect as well with the flares of lights. And it cuts back to this sort of parallel universe Evelyn, I guess, where they're at the party. She's finally just sick of it, and I can kind of move a little bit faster here because it lingers. This is a great shot to sort of the anime Evelyn, if you will. Really cool shot. Again, the blowing hair seems to be a really good connector to all of these scenes because there's just so many edits. And kudos to the editor. Like this one scene alone might have, I don't know how long it could have taken, but it's got to have taken a long, long time. But having her hair blow like that in the wind gives you the sort of connection to all of the threads, all of the universes being sort of um, together, which I like. It's just a little visual reminder that um, this one singular person is experiencing all of these things. Have Wayman, bless him. And we have this sort of cosmological Evelyn. Again, another really pretty shot. Lots of fade ins, and so all of this is blending much better than me going through it like this, and almost imperceptible in some of its moments. Again, with the circular lighting, just sort of that visual reminder of the theme of cyclicalness. Gong gong. We have the alpha jumpers being knocked back by the force of the existential dread. Um, Back to Evelyn. There's another shot, and I guess she's a statue in this universe, which is kind of cool. Then we have this Evelyn, which is kind of, it almost looks like maybe like a cyberpunky sort of Evelyn. I'm not sure. She's got some sort of light rod that she's holding, like a bow staff almost. And you have baby Evelyn here. We have this Evelyn screaming in a looks like a turkey processing plant, which, yeah, if your head was right there, you'd probably be screaming too. Again, with this burst of red across the multiverse. Again, with the maybe this is Evelyn. I'm not sure because the mask covers her face and the hair is different, but I can't tell. I don't think it is, but I have no clue who that person's supposed to be. I guess this is like a Tinder profile. We have this guy. This is, I guess, Evelyn as maybe like a bodybuilder or a boxer. And we have here Evelyn in some sort of, I don't know, the background is like an auto mechanics warehouse or assembly or something like that. Looks like robot arms welding. Back to the inky-eyed Evelyn. So you notice again that they cut back to like the core universes just to keep you anchored so that you're not like, what the heck is going on? And funny enough, your mind picks up on it. And usually the time that they linger on those universes is just a little bit longer than the rest of them so that you can kind of follow along still. This has just like the overlay of the universes with Evelyn. And let's get this cool like 4x4 of her in nature on a lake. That's kind of nice. We have her in this sort of rice hat, I think. I don't know where. I think that probably is just I don't think that that's from the same Shogun-y universe that her and her daughter are in. This one's interesting. She's got like sort of curly rainbow hair with what look like sort of Polynesian face tattoos with a nun outfit, obviously. Again, here with this cyberpunk Evelyn, sort of got this light rod. This one's cool. This is perhaps Mongolian. I'm not exactly 100% sure. But it does sort of look like the landscape too in the background and the sort of hut right there. And we go back to these sort of core Evelyn, cinematic, hot dog, young, prime. This one's a little bit weird. Again, these are blink and you'll miss it. You really like it's very difficult to capture. We got skeleton Evelyn as a nun. I have this sort of like a dress regalia. I'm not exactly sure of which country that would be from. I have her in this bizarre area. Lots of great background shots, you know, with you here at the lanterns. Mask. Then we go back to this car fire thing, and then back to the gas mask. With a double rainbow. Nice. Sorry, guys. I do have to keep speaking and stuff, so I know that you're probably most interested in the frames. I do have to keep on talking just to make sure I'm keeping it transformative. Um, so here you got like a Evelyn. This reminds me a little bit of Hunter S. Thompson, maybe like a little homage with the glasses there, and sort of like the deserty background, a little fear and loathing. Is apt, right? Fear and loathing is what she's feeling right now. We have the nun again. A lot of nun motifs. This one's kind of just like a, I don't know, for funsies, right? Let's do a little pick for funsies. This one here is a background of a man on an elephant, looks like. Back to the pizza shop, Evelyn. Prisoner Evelyn. Sort of, I don't know, Dormammu energy. Some other movie that we won't mention. Evelyn in sort of a war, it looks like. Again, I really enjoy how the her body is pretty much stationary the entire time, and everything sort of just moves around her, which is a match cut, right? Not breaking any profound ground here with you guys. This one's kind of cool. It's a little chilly. Again, like this flashes so quickly that you're seeing some of the repeat photos, but it's going so fast that I think they repeat the photos so that your mind can actually maybe catch one or two of them, because if they didn't, you probably wouldn't remember any of them. This one's kind of creepy. I didn't know what this is at all. It looks like some sort of monitor of infrared, like some infrared camera with maybe like a drone camera. I don't know. With her face there. Very creepy. Yeah, her chilling out. I'm not exactly sure where that is, but this one, this Evelyn pops up again at some point. Let's see. Keep on going. A little bit of the same sparklers in the field of wheat. Back to the anime. Back to the prisoner. So you start to see that there's recycling of images. Back to the urn, screaming. Meanwhile, and then you see the statue, which sort of is a reminder that she was a statue in the universe as well. And you get this dog. Apparently, Evelyn was a dog. And you can see because she has the eyes still. Everything else is a dog, but they kept Evelyn's eyes. Back to Jobu. It's sort of like the prime Evelyn, the one that we start the journey with. Again, these cuts go back and forth. This seems to be a crime scene. And again, with this creepy infrared thing, I don't know what it is, but it will give me nightmares. That's for sure. Back to Evelyn as a dog. Very cute. And she was apparently she was grapes as well. Just hanging there. Again, you can sort of see the eyes right there. So then we start recording. And this is interesting. This is like a Zoom meeting, and it looks like I don't even know who these people are. I have no idea. Maybe the people who worked on it. Maybe this guy's one of the directors, one of the Daniels. I'm not sure. Kind of looks like him. It looks like a Zoom where they're maybe taking a look at some of the footage. And you can see in the top on the file, it says Evelyn Everywhere, DSV1. So it's a video file that they're sharing with each other on a Zoom meeting, which is kind of a great addition to this montage of everything. You would want to include some sort of meta images to the movie making process. Back to Evelyn as a statue at the beach with some sort of dilapidated oil refinery. I don't know. Pier. Back to the gas mask theme again. Yeah, I think it again just sort of alluding to the difficulties that the um, pandemic had on the process of this movie. Sorry, guys, I can get a little tea there. So we're cycling back, and we have Priest Evelyn here. Back or not? This is Tree Evelyn, which is probably one of my favorites. I was just got a little tree face, wintry. This one I don't think we've seen before, but it looks like the Evelyn. I don't know. Can't tell who that one is. This one is quite bizarre. Lighting a candle has a very unique haircut. I don't know if this is a reference to anything. Maybe you guys know, but very very unique hair there. Again, we get the Evelyn as the ancient alien with the pyramids in the background. This is one of my favorites. We get a Evelyn back in the cinema. Evelyn as an Easter egg. Yeah, literally an Easter egg. This one is great. So this is a YouTube thumb that they made to just throw in there, and it says Illuminati symbols hidden in Hollywood films for one frame by Truth Seeker 1214. It's only got 12 views, and it was posted 14 years ago, and it's 1214 long. So, they're trying to be a little cheeky with that. Illuminati confirmed. Back to Evelyn as many variations. I have no idea what this is supposed to be, but it makes me very uncomfortable. And yeah, it says I love tennis. Well, that's good. Just love tennis from afar. Maybe that's terrifying. We got this cool. I don't know, maybe like a oil painting almost, or I don't know what you would call that, but almost like that Gautier music video, right? This one hiding her face, you can't really see, but you can still see the eyes. The eyes are really big in this shot because you're meant to just focus on her eyes and allow the rest of the scene to move around that. And it gives you just like the perfect center where to look, and then you see all of these elements sort of revolving around you, which makes the experience that much better. Obviously, I am not a director, so I don't need to tell most of you cinema buffs out there. Looks like Evelyn at a rave. Back to Ancient Aliens Evelyn. Under the mask, again with the nun motif is very strong. Looks like maybe she's in Yellowstone or something like that there. These just keep flashing. This one, she's just a face. Just a face. It would be a very weird existence to just be a face floating around. This is weird because there's definitely a little bit of like face blurring that's going on, where it sometimes makes her look drastically different than we usually see her, which I think is just done really well because it just maximalizes the concept of infinity for you. You're expecting variation when it comes to something like the multiverse, and this movie just does that perfectly. Go check out our review last week. We did, we go deep on it, and you can hear what we thought about it. But yeah, continues on. This one's kind of fun. Some person in the background that's dressed maybe like a wolf or a cat. I'm not sure, but it may be a cat because there's also a cat on the wall right there. Lanterns, this desert, salt flats looking. Again, aspect ratios are changing constantly, which is, again, very visually pleasing. just keeps going. So you start to see the same images over and over again. But again, at normal playback speed, you would probably only be seeing them once because of how fast this goes. Or sort of repeating, repetition, almost. Let's see. Up, and this is it. This is the end here, where she decides that she wants to become a rock, and that's where we end that little montage. So yeah, I hope that you guys enjoyed this little breakdown here. I know that a lot of people were talking about wanting to see that montage frame by frame, and I hope that I was able to give you decent enough experience on that. Again, I had to comment because I need to make it transformative so that I don't get in trouble. So I hope that wasn't too difficult for people watching out there. I really appreciate if anybody takes the time to check this out. I love this movie, and I hope that you did too. And yeah, so thanks so much, you guys. And I think I'm going to end it here. We also have a review on this channel. We did last week for this movie, Everything Everywhere All at Once. So if you want to hear what we thought about it, go check that episode out. It was a lot of fun. We get really deep into it and definitely gush about it. So if you enjoy the movie as well, you might enjoy watching us gush about it. Until next time, guys, thank you for this impromptu episode, and I appreciate all of you out there. And we'll see you tomorrow at 8:30 p.m. at Screen Time Continuum. Good night.